And recovery efforts are just beginning. Most of these tornadoes swept through America's heartland, the lives and homes of countless families destroyed by a historic run of December tornadoes. Communities have been altered beyond recognition, and families have been torn apart and left to sort through the rubble of what was once their homes. At least 25 people are confirmed dead, but officials say that number is expected to be higher. Kentucky's governor says one of the tornadoes was on the ground for an estimated 227 miles. That is longer than any other ever recorded in the United States. In the city of Mayfield, Kentucky, one of the hardest hit places, check out this satellite image which shows the downtown area, what it looked like before the tornado. And this is what is left after homes and businesses were completely flattened in the sudden wave of destruction. We've got team coverage of the tragedy. We will start with CBS Evening News managing editor and anchor Norah O'Donnell. She's in Mayfield, Kentucky, with a look at the destruction left behind.
It was merciless, unrelenting, and indiscriminate in its power. The monstrous tornado that tore through Kentucky left death and destruction in its path. It first touched down in central Arkansas Friday night and stayed on the ground for a record 227 miles, mostly through western Kentucky, where at least 80 people are feared to have died.
We're still finding bodies. I mean, we've got cadaver dogs in towns that they shouldn't have to be in.
We met some of those rescue teams here in Mayfield, in this town where a candle factory, initially believed to have 110 people inside, was torn to shreds.
They're still trying to make contact with different individuals to determine exactly how bad it is. I am praying that maybe original estimates of those we've lost were wrong. If so, it's going to be pretty wonderful, but it's way too early.
It's hard to find a part of the city that was spared. A church in town taken down to the studs. Cars stacked on top of each other with windows blown out. Roofs ripped off homes and businesses.
Our bedroom was right here. That was the wall right there.
For Robert and Karima Bright, this is all that's left of their home. A small closet. It was the only one in their home and where they rode out the storm with their 7-year-old grandson.
He was so scared. Oh, my God.
What were you saying to him?
I said, we're going to be okay. We're going to make it. Just hold on, hold on, hold on.
And when it was over, their late son's Bible was the first thing they found in the wreckage.
What does it mean to you to have your son's Bible?
More than my life.
Really? Oh, my gosh.
It does. My baby's buried down the street.
What did you think when amid all this, and you find the Bible?
God. So good. Because he saved us in that closet.
The Brights told us they have no savings and are in need of immediate assistance.
We're going to have over 1,000 homes that are just gone.
That's why President Biden approved an emergency disaster declaration for Kentucky on Saturday. And yesterday, FEMA's director and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas visited that candle factory.
Just taken aback by the level of devastation and the trauma that so many people have suffered. We learned of a cell phone that had 27 missed messages on it, which speaks of a loved one trying to reach someone in the factory.
Did you find who that cell phone belonged to?
We did not.
Amidst all the devastation, we saw the resilience of the people here.
We're going to grieve together. We're going to dig out and clean up together, and we will rebuild and move forward together. We're going to get through this together because that is what we do.
And Vlad, there is an unfathomable level of destruction here in Mayfield. Just block after block after block of homes that have been decimated. They have cut off the water. They have cut off the gas. They have cut off the electricity here. No one is able to live here now. This entire town wiped out. And of course, the other big headline this morning is out of that candle factory. It is believed that the death toll may be lower than was first reported. The head of that candle factory saying that of the 110 people that worked there, they have tracked down about 90 of them. So that is a small glimmer of hope this morning.
And that is oftentimes what people need in difficult situations like this, Norah, as you know. You've been on the ground now for some time. What have you just seen personally, just witnessing the death and the destruction?
Well, it's even hard to describe, Vlad, because I've covered hurricanes before. I've covered tornadoes before. I've never seen anything like this. I think that this particular tornado, which stretched for more than 200 miles, historic in its level of destruction. We still don't know whether it was an EF4 or an EF5, but you can just see the way the trees are twisted at the top. There's not a roof on any of these houses. Most of them are just already gone. And at the same time, amidst all the despair, the people that I've talked to on this block say that they feel blessed that they're alive. The Bright family that I spoke with, you saw in that piece, they have one closet in that teeny house that they lived in. They got into that closet and they survived by being inside that closet. And so they say that they feel blessed. And they're just going to take it one day at a time. Another family that we met a little further up the block, the Patterson family, their house also uninhabitable. And yet the one thing that was untouched in their house, the Christmas tree and the presents underneath. Just hard to even just think about that. The symbolism of that. So many people were, of course, preparing for the holidays, preparing for Christmas, and now this, trying to find out where are they going to live? What are they going to do?
Norah, just thinking about preparing for Christmas, I go back to that candle factory because I imagine it's a pretty busy time of the year at a candle factory. People use candles to decorate for the holidays. They give them as gifts. So you have all these people sort of working away in there. Do we know anything more about what happened at the time these tornadoes hit? Whether or not the workers had, a heads up, whether they were able to move to an area where they could get more shelter? What do we know?
Yeah, some of those details are starting to emerge, and it appears, based on the work by the CEO and others, that they have been able to identify most of the people that were working inside the factory. So that is some good news. I spoke to the mayor just this morning, Mayor O'Donnell, and she says, that candle factory, it's actually the economic backbone of the city. A lot of people work there, and they like working there. She says you don't hear people complain about working there. They love that job, and it's largely, for a lot of the workers there, it is a minimum wage job. But as you pointed out, they were, of course, working overtime during the holidays. Everybody likes candles. But, the devastation in that candle factory also just, you can't imagine, just completely wiped out. And some of the people that died, some were injured, some of them had chemical burns because of the amount of chemicals that were used inside that candle factory. So I think there'll be some more questions today for the executives of that company and also the governor about perhaps why some of the numbers were so off in the beginning about the number of casualties.
Norah, before we let you go, one of the things that it's hard sometimes for people to fathom when they look at the destruction behind you and the images that we're showing our viewers is that these tornadoes hit, and it was only between 7 and 10 minutes that those tornadoes were on the ground in some of these locales, and that is the scale of destruction after just a couple of minutes. And so you can see how the power of these natural disasters can have on people's lives. How are they keeping their faith? I know you've talked to a lot of people about faith and the holidays and what they're thinking about going forward.
Yeah, that's that phrase, right? Mother Nature's wrath. You really see it here, just the power, the devastating power of a tornado. I talked to the fire chief this morning. I talked to the mayor. They said some of the papers here have been found, and photos have been found as far as several hundred miles away, like 2 hours away in some towns. There's reports of that. Family pictures, legal papers, it's just traveled. That's kind of what's, the amazement, even beyond just what you see here now, just how much it has lifted things up and just taken it for miles and miles. The one thing that really, I think, you brought up the question of faith. I talked to Reverend Reed this morning, and this is a tight-knit community. There's about 10,000 people that live here. This is just Western Kentucky. A lot of people know each other. They've grown up here their whole lives. Their parents lived here, so it's a real tight-knit community. And the Reverend said that faith is really important, and that he said, that a lot is learned in the crucible of suffering, which was his word. And so what he's trying to help people engage in is selfless leadership was in his words, that what he's trying to do as part of faith is, well, you have so much despair in your own life, try and think about others and helping others. And I found his own message as we talked to him this morning very reassuring, because I worry a lot about people who are here who have no savings. The mayor said, a lot of people in this community, they rent these homes. They don't own them. And one of the families I talked to, they rented one of these homes for $400 a month. They have no savings. Where are they going to find a place for $400 a month to live? And that's really the struggle, after this. And so, they are grateful for the Red Cross. They are grateful for Feeding America. They are grateful for FEMA. They are grateful for many of the other charitable organizations. And all across America, people who said during this holiday season, I want to help the people there in Mayfield, Kentucky, and other places who are in great need.
Indeed, they are going to need all the help they can get. Norah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
So Norah will have much more on the recovery efforts following those devastating tornadoes tonight on the CBS Evening News. You can stream that at 10 p.m. Eastern here on CBSN.